I've had discussions with a number of people over the last few months or so on the topic of the coming Australian Plenary Council 2020. Most people appear overwhelmed by the way the Council appears to be a tool for the progressives to further change the Church, and many think that there is nothing that can be achieved by individuals. A number of people and groups have made submissions that tend to cover the main issues that most people agree are disordered in the Church: Catholic education, liturgical abuses, marriage issues, seminary education, etc. These are in opposition to the extensive and well-organised progressive submissions that are drearily familiar, but chilling for people who love the faith. Then into all this came Archbishop Vigano last year to highlight the extent of homosexuality within the priesthood and the hierarchy. Despite many on both sides of the Catholic political spectrum attempting to play down the veracity of Vigano's charges, there is now far too much material publicly available to deny it. Amongst others, Randy Engels and her 1,200-page book, The Rite of Sodomy, has thoroughly and unequivocally documented the extent of the problem in the United States and elsewhere. It is a major problem in Australia too. Father Kevin Lee's Unholy Silence is a complex work from a complex author, but it does clearly document the scale of the Australian problem. Despite this, it remains an issue that most Catholics, not least in Australia, would prefer to ignore. This leads us back to the coming plenary and its issues. If there are homosexuals in the priesthood and the hierarchy in Australia, it should come as no surprise that they will be dragging their feet on initiatives such as improving Catholic education or strengthening marriage. So what are the prospects of these initiatives if the leadership of the Church is left in the hands of even a few homosexuals in high places or the priesthood? Put another way, the core issue for the Church in Australia is not simply reviving conventional Catholicism or bringing back rosary before Mass, although these are very good things. It is cleansing the priesthood of an element that is not supposed to be there, but whose presence will thwart every initiative for good that could be made. What can you do about it? I'm asking you to take a 1-minute survey for the Bonaventure Academy. The survey asks you if you're in favour of homosexuality in the priesthood or not. And from the results of the survey, a very simple submission will be made to the Plenary Council. The Council's listening strategy requires evidence of numbers, so any submission will hold weight only in proportion to the numbers behind it. By taking the survey, you will add to the numbers who consider this issue important. A link to the survey may be found in the description section below. If you think an issue for the Australian Church is ridding its priesthood of homosexuality, then take the survey and forward it to anyone you think might be of like mind. It may not change the Church, but without this issue being brought to the attention of the Council, it will definitely be ignored, and our children and our grandchildren will be the worse for it. I look forward to your participation.